So, just since you touched about the topic of advisors, and as your mechanical engineering professor, um, so what do you expect from students who come to you to work under you as research assistants or uh, voluntary projects? So, what do you expect from students who want to work with you?
Well, for me, I'm actually I've got some mechanical, a lot of electrical, and I ended up with my PhD in systems. So I'm a little bit all over the place. And my master's was electrical and computer. But for me, because I'm incredibly busy, I've just got so much going on. The biggest thing I'm looking for in a student is that they're a self-starter, that they just want to be able to do it. That I don't have to hold their hand. And so sometimes students are really good that way. And they will go and, for example, my last doctoral student, Avinash Konkani, was just awesome human being. And he picked his doctoral topic on his own, and he marched forward and he did he spearheaded the research that needed to be done. I helped him in this is how you write a research paper, going over the drafts together and so forth. But he was really a driver in coming up with the creative idea behind what he wanted to research and in actually making it happen. So I think that it really depends a lot on the advisor and on the student. Some students want a lot of support. Many doctoral advisors, I think, are really busy like me, and they're not looking to. They're looking to make something happen, but they're not looking to invest a lot of their personal time to make that happen, because the whole idea of getting your doctorate is that you need to be able to work independently and think independently. Now, one thing is there's a very good paper by George Whitesides on how to write a research paper. So if anyone out there is looking to get some guidance on research paper writing, that is an awesome paper. And just Google George Whitesides and how to write a research paper, and it will come right up. And he says something along the lines, which I totally agree with, is start with your figures. Get your figures together first, and then the paper will coalesce around that. And so those are ideas. It's very, the world is a highly competitive place. And I think a hard thing is that people sometimes think that getting a PhD will make it less competitive for you. In other words, you've got this, this badge, you can put it on. I've got a PhD, hire me. And it's, if anything, sometimes I think it's more competitive in the PhD ranks, because there's just, what was it? I was hearing for MIT, every new assistant professor position, they get something like 400 applicants for it. And many of these applicants are absolutely amazing, just amazing people. So sometimes it's, I don't know, just looking around, seeing where the crowd is going, and then going the other way is also an interesting approach that can be worthwhile. My co-instructor in teaching the MOOC is Terrence Sejnowski, the Francis Crick professor at the Salk Institute, and he's a legendary neuroscientist. But what's interesting to me is he started out as a physicist, and he looked at what was going on in particle physics, and also he was working in relativity. He worked for John Wheeler, or that was his advisor, who's extremely well known in relativity studies. And what Terry finally discovered, or he sat and looked and said, wait a minute, for me to do anything and actually make it and have an impact in the field of physics in that specific discipline that I'm working in, it's virtually impossible to actually make research that advances anything, because the amount of money for the colliders and so forth that need to be built in order for us to make progress is so enormous that you just can't do it. So at that time, they were graduating a lot of physicists who had this remarkable training in these very in-depth areas, and there really wasn't any use for them. And so a lot of them ended up having to go find new careers. But Terry, he changed very early on and said, I can see there's a problem happening here. And he switched to neuroscience, which at that time was really a blossoming field. So what I'm really saying is, look very carefully. Is the field that you're looking to get into, is there a future in it? How many other people are in it? How competitive is it? And then, is the training you're going to get maybe going to be useful in a completely different area? Maybe.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So I think I'm exhausted with all my questions. Do you have anything to say about?
I love the questions you ask. I think they're the kinds of things that we all wonder about. And for the students that you work with, I think the world is ahead of you, and there's so much potential. Just think carefully about what you're doing. Look at your own mind and how your mind is learning things, and try to leverage things so that you learn and live life to the fullest. And I wish you the happiest of learning.
Thank you so much, Rod. It's a pleasure talking to you.